Hi ragazzi, ciao guys, welcome back to another episode of No Cut. It's our appointment every week on Thursday. It's like a longer format in which we discuss fashion, we discuss ideas, we discuss stories. In a bit of a longer format with no cuts, just having a conversation like podcast style. So yeah, you see I have my coffee, I have my bright Stone Island and I'm ready for it, absolutely. How are you, by the way? I mean, that's the question. You guys doing all right? Managing these changes, transition of season? So, today we are here on my couch. Aside from, of course, me showing you my outfit, whatever. It's a very beautiful Stone Island scuba shirt from 1996. It's a very interesting material because it has like a polyurethane mix, so it's almost like a scuba diving suit, so it's super mega cool with the neoprene. But regardless of that, that's enough, you saw enough. Oh, Onitsuka Tiger, Mexico 66, these are discontinued color. Anyways, let's focus on the topic of today. So I decided to call it the videos of today legit check, and that's simply because I was thinking about, what might be nice to talk with the community and have a conversation about. And one of the things that came to my mind was fakes. Overall, like the word of replicas and imitation and market and ideas, and how sometimes we're all struggling with fakes to different levels, but that's really like a common problem, I would say. And how, again, what's my story, what's my experience, what I think about it, and as some tips and tricks and some stories, of scams that I was part of. So yeah, today we're gonna discuss fakes, we're gonna discuss replica, and we're gonna discuss how important it is to do legit checks and what we can do together to improve that, absolutely. So if I'm thinking about fake and about fashion, I don't know if you guys have watched the movie House of Gucci, but you can really see how, I would say, in the 1980s, there has been like a blossoming of like fake Gucci, especially in the US. And then you can see how part of the Gucci family was, of course, shocked by the loss of revenue. But part of the Gucci family was like, okay, yeah, I'm happy because, there's like a revenue. Like if you make it on the fake market, if your goods are so desired that actually people are faking it and there is a secondary market, there is a parallel market, that also means that, you're a household name, you're a household logo, and people really desire your stuff. And this, of course, we can also quote the best in the game, rest in peace Virgil Abloh, who was also saying that for him, having copy is having forged t-shirts and copies and fakes was really an achievement, and he was really happy in a way, that of course Off-White made it there. So I think that there is two ways of seeing fakes. Of course, on one hand, if a brand gets to like the fake level, that means that there is a high demand for it. So it's also a consecration. Let's say it's a validation. It's a high level, but of course that comes at a cost because something we always have to keep in mind is that fakes are made and are commercialized, and they're benefiting, criminal organizations who are then funding other nefarious activities, so like the drug trade, violence, prostitution, criminality. So first of all, we have to remember that, that kind of word is kind of sketchy, but also that, again, the quality is poor and the working conditions are very bad. I think, personally, based on my history, that the fakes have been expanding the reach. Talking about my story, for example, I lived 1 year in Shanghai in China, and up until, let's say, in the last 20 years, there has been a little bit of a association of like China with also like replicating, lack of originality. But actually, in my experience, I went as a tourist a couple of times to the fake market. There's multiple locations in Shanghai and in other major cities in China, in which you can just like walk in and there's fake markets that sell everything from like Levi's, they sell fake Supreme, they sell fake designer, fake watches, anything you can think of, like an underground town. But I have to say, and this is something that we're also going to take on later in the discussion today, that the quality of fake really diverges depending on where you go. So for example, I had a friend of mine, he wanted to buy a Stone Island sweater. I was like, okay, if you really want to, we can go buy a Stone Island sweater. We went in a few places, let's say we went in 10 places. In 9 of these, the Stone Islands they had was horrible. Like the badge was looking bad, the material was looking bad, the tags were looking off. But then we went into a place, and of course I know the merchandise, so I told the guy, hey, do you actually have something better? And he pulled up with a sweater that was identical. I would have been tricked. I was tricked, you know? And the guy explained me, like the producer, Chinese producer, explained me that what they do is they take products from, take real products and they replicate them up to a higher level and as much as they can. So it's also a matter of like, okay, there is different level of fakes. There is the fake which is obvious, there is the fake who's funny, there is the fake who's very good, and then there is the fake which is like almost perfect. Again, absolutely bad, you shouldn't buy it. But that gets tricky, right? Because I would love to tell you, yeah, I went to China or Morocco or Turkey or Vietnam, wherever, and the fakes were so blatantly obvious, you know, that it's easy to tell them apart. So on one hand, I would say that in the last few years with technology, with globalization, with this always raising demand for consumer luxurious goods, I would say that the fakes have done like a step up in terms of like, you know, how good the quality of these fakes is. I also, for example, you know, on WeChat, there's like the chat, it was able for us, we were just kids, just 5 years ago, I was very young back then. But you know, it was also like a matter of like you could order sneakers, for example, and the sneakers are made in the same factories as the real sneakers. So it's very muddy territory, I have to say. I personally don't justify buying fakes in the sense that, of course, everyone can do what they want. But personally, I think that if buying fakes means giving money to criminal organization, if buying fakes means wasting real money on like, you know, fake stuff, and deep in the end, even if you're fooling everyone else, you know it's fake. The only thing I justify fake for is like if it's a cheap product, let's say like a pair of sneakers, it's a cheap product. So like, let's say a pair of Dunks, a pair of Tom Sachs, a pair of whatever, a pair of Salomons, and unfortunately because of the reseller market, that shoe is not available on the market. That shoes is a 150 euro shoes. I can understand who tells you, listen, Eugenio, I'm not gonna spend 1,000 euros on StockX, I'm gonna buy it fake. But again, the product itself is a low value one, right? So if you buy a fake watch, come on, why would you pretend to have 10,000 euros to spend on a Rolex Submariner, right? What are you getting? So anyways, it's a very muddy territory. I don't know what you guys think, you know, but overall, fake are validation, fake are everywhere, fake are getting better with quality, and so it's really hard, and fake are all around us. I wouldn't recommend going for fakes. I think it's just a phase in life, you know, there's a moment in your life in which you have a bit more money and you're like, okay, you know, I'm an adult, what should I do with my wealth? But yeah, it's very hard. Also really depends. For example, there's brands like Balenciaga, which have been faked a lot. I actually I bought myself as a fun piece of merch, a Balenciaga cap, back in 2017 in China as a souvenir. Again, it's fun, it's harmless, but you know, again, depends also on the brand. There is brands which are fake the most, but there is also unexpected brands that you can find faked and reproduced, and you know, like depending on the geographical distribution, yeah. But why am I saying that fakes are all around us, and why am I saying that I've been recently surprised by how fakes are sneaky and can trick you? Because as you guys know, I am on Vinted. I'm having fun on Vinted. I'm selling my collection, my archive. I'm buying new stuff. It's really my favorite app. And I think I'm kind of good, right? I mean, I know how to tell a fake Stone Island or CP company. Like, I know my product. And I have to say that Vinted, for example, but eBay too, back in the days, they're all full of fakes. And this gets tricky, because one hand is me walking into the fake market and intentionally buy a fake babe shirt, right? One thing is that if I want the real thing, but then I get scammed, I get tricked. So using the fake as a way to make money, getting tricked, getting scammed, getting not the right value, even paying real money. And that happens a lot, unfortunately, on this Vinted platform. The authentication systems are not that good, or are not available, or are not trustworthy. I have a friend of mine who used to work for StockX, and yeah, it's hard, because again, the quality of fakes is getting high. They're working with quantities, not with quality. So I would say is overall really hard. But now what I wanted to say is that, again, guys, be really careful when you're like on secondary platform like Vinted, Depop, etc., Grail, because fakes are everywhere, and some of them are easy to tell. Like I would say, again, let's say for example, I have a passion for I don't know, Stone Island. Okay, you see, every day there's hundreds of fake, but most of these posting you can tell they're fake, right? Because they have like a weird logo, weird badge, cheaper price. But for example, around 6 months ago, I found this beautiful Stone Island heat reactive jacket from 2020. The price was alright, in the sense that I think I paid 250 euros for it. Let's say that the market price would be like 4, 5. But this jacket looked perfect, had a good labels, had a good Certi logo, had like the material worked. I got it home, I was so happy. I was like, oh yeah, of course I got it. I think I paid 300 for it. So like I think I paid 300 for it. Maybe somebody wanted the profile look legit, the person look nice and trustworthy. So real money for a real thing. And then luckily, I just left a review to this guy, right? I was like, oh, thank you very much for the jacket. After a couple of hours, I was contacted by somebody else, another account user, who told me, hey, I saw you left a review at this guy, be careful, this guy sells fake. And I was like, oh, that's weird, because I scanned the Certi logo. The Certi logo is like this ultimate proof of reality, right? You scan the Certi logo, it tells you, yes, Stone Island, legit. This guy told me, no, actually, this is a high-level scam. What these people do, and then I checked into it, he sent me some contacts. Basically, what they do is they take real Certi logos and they stitch on fake jackets. So the level of the scam. So you cannot trust Certi logo. You cannot trust labels. You have to be incredibly careful. So guys, be careful out there. But also, something that happened to me recently. If you guys know on the channel, I really like Carhartt. I like vintage Carhartt. But one of my most favorite underrated collaboration of recent years was last year collaboration of Carhartt with Invincible. Invincible is a Taiwanese retailer. They went for like this reimagined classics. So like a series of like boxy short jackets, pants, super nice boxy stuff. I recently bought a hoodie and a shirt, right? I was on Vinted. I saw a hoodie and a shirt. Let's say the hoodie retails for like, was retailing for like 180 and I found it for 100. And the hoodie too, right, from another seller. I was like, okay, that's nice. I can spend 200 euros, get myself a comfy hoodie, get myself a shirt. I didn't even fathom the possibility that somebody could fake, who fakes Carhartt, right? The notion really just bypassed me. And I was like, okay, then what happened? The stuff got here, and I looked at the labels, and the labels were weird because, of course, I have real items. I have 2 pair of pants, I have a jacket. So I was like, okay, the labels look weird. I looked it up online, and yeah, there's fakes everywhere. There's so many replicas of a Carhartt collaboration. So that's why I thought, okay, damn, I have to warn everyone, because, you know, of course, if you're buying designer, you're buying Prada, you're buying bags, you know, your alert level is a bit higher, and it makes sense. But like if you're buying Carhartt, right? If I'm buying a Carhartt hoodie for 80 euros, why would I even consider the fact, you know, that might be fake? But actually we should. So one of the 2 I was able to send back, the other no, because I already clicked yes, I like it. So overall, my advice would be, guys, be really careful. Always do your research and be aware of the fact that really the level of skill set and the circulation of second-hand items made it really hard. And so there's nothing worse than buying something thinking it's real, right, from a person you think you can trust, and then realizing it's fake. So of course the hope is that they didn't know, but yeah, it's just embarrassing, right? It's just so hard. But yeah, what I can tell you, it happens to everyone. What I am trying to do is, if I find something that I like, even if it's a good price, if it's just drop, if it's warm, I feel this urge of buying, take a step back, I try to think about it for a second, I try to see again, okay, is this really necessary? Let me look at the labels, contact the seller, get some extra information, look the model online, and yeah, just do a little bit of your research. I know that maybe you might lose, we always feel this pressure to shop fast before the deal is gone, before the watch is gone, etc. But actually just do your research, that's really important. And that's why I decided to call this episode Legit Check. I would love to, guys, if you need any help with legit checking, just shoot me a message. You can find me on Instagram at ZamoZamo. You can find me on Vinted at Charles Paris. I would love to have a conversation with everyone. And again, if you need help verifying Barbour, if you need help verifying Stone Island, CP Company, Massimo Osti production in general, so also like Bonneville, Arctic Navy, 10C, yeah, I mean, I would just love to help you guys out. Overall, I think, again, if you are the knowledgeable fashion friends of the group, help your friends, because there's so much fake shit out there and we really need to put a stop at it, right? I think. So yeah, let's have a conversation together, guys. If you have any fun stories about fake, I have many more, so we can share in the future. And otherwise, thank you for watching. As always, we have a chill conversation every Thursday. This is called No Cuts. This is episode 3. On a Sunday instead, I go a bit more into depth into my wardrobe and what I'm doing and trends and brands overall. And yeah, I mean, it's always a pleasure. Thank you again, and have a beautiful day, and beware of fakes. Bye, ciao.